evening, everyone. Friday night. There's no football tomorrow, but there is football on Sunday, and I am looking forward to it. Chaz, are you going to make the journey back this weekend?
I am. I am. You know what? I actually wasn't going to make the journey back for the Port Vale game, but I was always going to make the journey back for the game on Sunday. I absolutely love watching the women, especially at the stadium. It's such a rare surprise. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're in a nice little bit where we get a little bar and some food to ourselves, Ash, which, me and you could never complain about. So I am looking forward to it.
I am not going to turn down bar snacks at Peterborough United, that's for sure, and a comfortable seat because that pesky wooden seat that we have in the main stand at the back is not the best. Let's not start talking the GH here, Chaz. We'll save that for later on. Should we get our guests straight on? We've got Tara joining us tonight. Tara, good evening. How are you?
Hey, evening. Really good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I guess first and foremost, we should probably start with letting everybody know who you are, what you do, what your life is all about. Hit us with that one if you can.
Well, if you don't know me, I obviously play for the Peterborough Women's side. I think it's my fourth season now. I think. I feel like I've been there for a very long time, but it's paying off. Hopefully this season. And then I guess in on the other side of the football side of me is the media world, which includes a lot of social media work or on TV, which is really exciting, which is something that I never really thought I was going to go into, but it just happened. So yeah, I roll with it, and it's working out so far. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. One thing I always like to ask when we're talking to a player is, how did you get into football? What was your first experience with the sport? What made you fall in love with it? And yeah, what is your footballing story?
So for me, it was a choice to go and play football. I wasn't forced into anything. I was a really sporty child. I still am, to be fair. Me and my twin sister just love to be a part of any sort of team and be outside, get stuck in. And so football for me started with the boys' teams because there wasn't any girls' teams around. And I think I was 5 years old when I joined my local boys' club, played with them. At the time, I didn't realise all the comments about how I was a girl, how many comments were made, what my parents told me when I was older, like this was all said to you and you had no idea because you were just so well, you just presented yourself so well and really got stuck in and enjoyed it and showed that side to me. So I just did my thing, and then I got scouted for Leicester when I was 7 years old, in a tournament, and then stayed with them for about 11 years, and then moved over to Peterborough. But yeah, Leicester was kind of my whole footballing experience so far. Like it was just a great experience, very professional, very disciplined. I learned a lot, and I also made my first team debut with them. So yeah.
Very interesting. Tara, obviously the uptake and the interest in women's football has grown massively over the last 6 years, I would say. I
Yeah.
would say that you've been relatively well involved in that as well and seeing it
Yeah.
all happen. I know that obviously there's lots of, I think they're called wildcats, aren't they, that football teams do where they have like just girls only football.
Mm.
Obviously that's a big change, just being having, obviously you mentioned that you started with a boys team.
Yeah.
Do you think that the long-term plan for women's football will be to obviously grow as big as it can? And how do you see that happening going forwards?
I see that happening by all of these women that are in a position of power or have a presence on social media to take their time to help the younger generation. So for me personally, I really, really put my time back into the girls that are at schools and doing appearances or training sessions with them, and helping them learn football in a all female environment and let them know that they can break into the footballing world and it's not just for guys. Because I didn't really have that when I was younger, but I'm quite fortunate in the sense that I wasn't a part of it, where I guess I wasn't a part of football when it was banned not too long ago. I think it was like 1970s when that got lifted, which is just crazy to say. But I think a lot of the success of the growth has come from the Euros in 2022 from the Lionesses. So I think that's pretty much where a lot of the credit goes to because of what they managed to do and make a name for themselves. So I think a lot is owed to that team, that those Lionesses.
Yeah, and they have done the country proud, and I think even in 2022, maybe not everyone was on board, but you see the most recent Euros win, and
Yeah.
it almost felt like as big as the men's. Like just the celebrations nationwide when they managed to win it was incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, you being here for 4 years has been really good because you must have been able to see the development not just on a nationwide scale, but in Peterborough. Were you around when they played the first game at London Road against, was it #Women?
Yeah, so actually, funnily enough, that was the first game I went to go and watch Peterborough. After leaving Leicester in my transfer, I was looking at a few teams, and it was Bobby Copping at the time that invited me to go and watch the game in the stadium, and we had the whole wine and dine experience. I think it was to help get me to sign, and I really liked the feel there, and I was quite impressed that this club were putting this game on. So yeah, that was like a good introduction for me, but I don't think that was a league game. So the first league game was the one that I played in at that stadium.
That was Lincoln, wasn't it? You scored. I've seen clips of you this week. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that was my first goal for Posh.
Quality. So it feels like a full circle moment, doesn't it? Really, that was the last time that the women played at London Road. There was
Yeah,
lots of people there that day. I think it was like 2,300. I'm not sure what Sunday is going to look like, but let's hope that there's as many people there as possible.
yeah,
If we talk about Posh Women's season this season, obviously not quite top of the league at the moment because of all these
mm,
postponements. That is probably something that I did want to touch on as well, is
yeah.
postponements, is that waking up on a Sunday morning and seeing that
Oh,
your game's been called off. What is that like and how frustrating is that? Because I think the Sheffield game, for example, is that 4 times now that it's been called off?
yeah, and I think they haven't even played a game or that many games since the start of the year on their own pitch, which is crazy. Um, yeah, it's really difficult to be honest because you really try and get yourself in the right mindset and hype yourself up, but you do have a feeling of like, oh, is it going to get cancelled? Is it not? Like, um, and you obviously, well, for me personally, I always stay in the night for a game. I think everyone does that, but that's like that's what you should be doing. And so you've got the night in, you're kind of preparing yourself ready, and then you wake up and it's like the suspense is crazy. Like the girls are texting in the chat, like, what's the pitch inspection saying? And yeah, you get really deflated, and then it's like, oh well, we'll be into training instead, and it's just not quite the same as a game. So it's quite hard to deal with, but especially we've had quite a few postponements in a row as well. We've really tried to keep like the momentum and the positivity because it does get quite tough when you keep getting hit with the postponed games.
Yeah, it must be really deflating. I mean, when I was at school, we had the same thing, texting, is the game going to be called off? Except
Yeah.
we all celebrated when it was, because I was in like the D team, I think, the E team. I was not a footballer back in the day. Um, I wanted to ask then about the games that you have been able to play this season. The team seemed to have really kicked on. Last season was a bit of like not quite there, but it really felt like this year was the one where you kick on and really challenge.
Yeah, I think to put it quite frank, this season is our season. We've well the time that I've been at Peterborough, I think we've worked so hard to get to a point where we can be promoted and create a team that can produce like goodness, and I think we have got that this season. We're the best team on paper, um, and it should happen. I don't think many teams can really stop us, and it's our time. Everything's kind of aligned this season. I'd say the league has been a bit different in terms of maybe there's not as many like high performing teams as there has been previously in previous years. Um, but yeah, I think this is our time. So we've really got to take it with both hands. And last season was a kick in the teeth, especially finishing where we did.
Yeah, this season, Tara, I've noticed obviously when we come down and watch is that teams enjoy for some reason playing seven at the back and just sitting back on it. How frustrating is that for yourself and for the team that you want to go out and play football, you want to play good stuff, and you want
Yeah,
to score lots of goals? And look, of course, it's a tactic, isn't it? Like they're doing
yeah,
their best because they know that there's a chance that they could concede like 8 or 9
yeah,
goals in a game. How
yeah.
frustrating is it when teams just come and sit on the 18-yard box and defend for their lives?
For some reason, we seem to be a lot of teams cup final, so we seem to keep facing that a lot at the moment. But it's obviously a compliment, and we have to be smart enough to work around it and be patient with the build. And not force anything, which I think at times has been quite hard, where our patience has been tested. But as a striker, the last thing you want is a box loaded with 11 defenders, because you've got no chance. So yeah, it does get frustrating. You'd rather teams come and have a go as well. So then it's probably more of an equal game. But saying that, like, if that's how you want to, I guess, approach the game and that's your tactic, then you've done it well.
Yeah. What is the mentality like in the changing room now then? I mean, I assume the pressure does sort of feel like we're getting to that business end of the season now, that there is that end goal is in sight. We're in a good position with the
Yeah.
games in hand. What is the vibe like?
The vibe's great. We have such a good group of girls. Like, I just think we have something really special this season, and in the changing room, like pre-game, we are just so happy, and God, like whoever's on the Orcs, you know, we vibe, we sing, we have some really good songs in place as well to keep the vibes up. So yeah, I can't really complain in that sense. Like the girls, for me especially, is like what's kept me at this club and kept me going with a hardest season this season. But yeah, like the vibes are great. So we just have to kind of keep our heads on our shoulders and not get too carried away, because like you know what football can be like. But it can wobble, and then that's it, because we're not quite clear yet. So we do have to remind ourselves.
So Sunday, Tara, obviously Worcester City at home, a big game. I'm not going to say it's under the lights at London Road, because I hope that the weather is nice, because I can't do any more cold Sundays. What are you hoping for on Sunday for everybody that's going to come down and watch? Hopefully there's enough people there to create a good atmosphere. And I would actually like to ask you a question, thinking back to Northampton as well.
Yeah.
Obviously there was a bit of rowdiness behind the goal, wasn't there? There was more people that had come and made a little bit of noise. What was that like for the team, knowing that there was a new like batch of supporters that had come down?
Personally, I loved it. The louder our fans are, the better. So as long as it's all, you know, like it's sensible-ish, I'm all for it. And I think so are the girls. Like we love to know that we've got that support, and we'd rather be the loudest team. So yeah, it really helps. And I think we'll get the same again on Sunday in terms of the atmosphere. I think we should get a good attendance. And yeah, I'm just super excited. I really hope that if you can, you come, because it's not just about like showcasing us. It's actually we're playing there because we deserve to play there.
There was something that I wanted to ask and I've forgotten what it was. So I do you know, no, I think I remembered it. I'll have to wing it a little bit. Boldmere, obviously, they are the team top of the league. We have got them in 3 Sundays' time, I think. Do you think do you feel like as a squad that that's the last hurdle to sort of get over, and then not that it's going to be comfortable, because there's going to be some hiccups on. There's lots of away games to come, isn't there? And whenever I think that we drew to Leafield obviously a couple of weeks ago. We've drawn to Barnsley. So, what are the thoughts of thinking ahead to that Boldmere game? Because I know that Mr. Henry certainly likes to vocal on the touchline.
I don't want to give you a typical football answer, but we do have to take each game as it comes. So we don't look that far ahead in the sense of missing out on what we've got in front of us. We have to genuinely take each game as it comes, because the games that you can slip up against might be towards the bottom of the table. So as much as Boldmere, we're very aware they're probably one of our biggest threats. We have to just kind of stay one step, 1 week at a time. So sorry to give you that typical boring football answer, but yeah, we are aware that they're there, but we have to take the other games before first.
Yeah, I'm sure that's good to hear for everyone involved in the squad. I wanted to ask, obviously London Road is your home on Sunday, but this season you have had a new permanent home as well at Pims Park.
Yeah.
How have you found the move to Pims Park? Now we're, you know, months and months into it. How have you found it?
I really enjoy playing there. I think it feels a lot more kind of like grand and professional. There's more facilities for everyone, and people that actually live in Peterborough can access the ground, whereas I think previously they had that struggle. So we've seen some different faces down, and that's been amazing. And yeah, I think it suits us. I definitely think it suits us. I think Bourne served its purpose for the time, but I think yeah, bigger and better. Like that's what we want to achieve. So we need the facilities for that.
Right, so I've just got one question from the comments from Ed, who asked who your football idol was growing up.
So I'm a Leicester fan. I am a Posh fan as well because I play for them, but I'm actually a Leicester fan, and so my idol was Vardy. Yeah.
Do you know what that whenever I think of Jamie Vardy now, I think of that mural that they've done for him in the stadium that just doesn't look like him, and it's kind of like ruined it for him. So, but I mean, yeah, great player, goal scorer like you as well. So no complaints from me. Tara, I think we'll leave it there unless you've got anything else you want to say for everybody that's watching at the moment. Don't feel obliged to.
No, just thanks for having me. You guys probably don't realize how much of an impact you have on us as a team, though. We really appreciate you coming down each week and showing up because it's not easy, but yeah, it's just been amazing to have you guys a part of the journey. So yeah, thank you, and we'll see you Sunday.
Thank you.
We'll get a picture.
I've enjoyed being part of it mainly because I like running my mouth at the opposition dugout.
Well, you can do that on Sunday.
I look forward to it massively. We'll see you Sunday, Tara. Thank you
We'll
for coming on.
With the flag.
Oh yeah, I'll best make sure that I pat that. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Wicked. Thank you, Tara.
Cool,
enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, Chaz. How are we feeling after that? Normally it would be an away fan, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But how are we feeling after that? I think
to be honest, I think if we had away fans on for the Posh Women this season, they would have just been. It would have just been depressing because they would have been like, "Yeah, we're scared. We're going to get beat. We're going to get beat." It's at least with the men's team, they think they've got a chance of beating us. But every time I watch the women, it's just like we dominate, don't we? It's such a golfing class between us and the rest of the league, and I think this will be the season that promotion happens. Being in the third tier of women's football is going to be amazing for the club. So good. Hopefully it will start to attract new players, and I think Sunday is obviously going to be great for us, and especially you and Lods that go to the women every single week. To see them on that bigger scale is going to be fantastic. But also I think it's sort of not about us in a way. Like if Sunday inspires one or two more girls who may not feel like they see themselves represented in the football they've watched at recently, if it inspires literally one or two more people, then that's a resounding success in my book. I think it's going to be a great spectacle for the club, and yeah, I think there's reason to be massively excited for it.
No, do you know what? I totally agree with you, and I've had a few comments back and forth this week about like I've got no intention of going down, but how can you say that you don't like something when you've never given it the chance? Like I was sat there on holiday, and was it the Euros that the England women won again this year? I'm really letting myself down with my knowledge, but they won it last year, didn't they? Again, and I was sat there on holiday, and Imogen was watching, and then there's loads of not just girls, boys as well, cheering the fact that England are winning a competition. And that's what I would say to any Posh fan. You have the chance to come down on Sunday and support a branch of Peterborough United that maybe you wouldn't normally, but these are people that are going to be successful this season. Of that, I am sure, even if they want to play it game by game. I'm confident that Sunday is going to be a win. And then they can move on to the next step, and we'll see where we go from there. So it will be a good day. It will be nice to see. I don't. This is the thing. I don't want to put a number on it and say what would be a good number. It would be nice if there was 500 people there. That would be good, because I think that they average around 200 to 250 on a Sunday at Pims Park. So if they can double that at London Road, then I think that's good. And then long term, hopefully, promotion takes you up to the next step, and then hopefully there's a chance that we can start playing more games there, not just the one a season. Obviously, it's been sort of 3 or 4 seasons. We want to see Posh Women playing at London Road every weekend, not at Pims Park. Make it a home for all.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I'd love to see, obviously, we've got this game this weekend, but if there's a chance that the women get promoted at home this season. I'd love to see if they'd switch that game, because I think celebrating a promotion at London Road would be incredible. It just promotion is just a magical thing. And I think it would be great to see that at London Road. And yeah, there's literally no reason why we can't be playing more games at London Road, especially if there's a promotion, because you look at the league above and there's some big teams in that league, like some big clubs, Derby, Wolves, those kind of clubs are in and around that division. So there's going to be some really good games in that league next season, and it's going to be tough. I think they'll take a while to sort of adjust, but why not? Why can't we be playing, at home every week? And why can't we have ambition to be a WSL side in 5 years' time? There's literally no reason why that couldn't happen. And if we were a women's Super League side, I mean, that would be like just unreal to have that attached to the club. I absolutely am feeling really optimistic about the women. I hope that it's going to be a great game on Sunday. I just hope that the nerves from the pure footballing perspective. Tara mentioned that every team, when they play against us, it's their cup final. Well, I know it's not our cup final, but for the women, it sort of is. It's a massive game getting to play at London Road, and I just hope that the jitters don't get to them. And I hope that it's going to be a game where, yes, there's a bigger crowd. Yes, you're sort of being expected to perform because of what it means to the club, but also play that free-flowing stuff that we see at Pims Park and all over the country every weekend. Because if they do that, then they're going to have earned loads of new fans by the end of the day, 100%.
I'll tell you what, as well, Worcester, and this is a very weird experience, Worcester play in a massive stadium. I don't know if anyone wants to go and research it. They play in a rugby ground. It's 3-sided, but the main stand, which is over the far side where the dugouts are, is absolutely huge. And I don't know what the exact attendances are there. So I kind of feel like playing at London Road against Worcester, it kind of benefits both teams, because Worcester are used to playing in a big stadium. Posh obviously went there earlier on in the season and won 6-2. That was the same weekend that we beat Plymouth away. That was a Posh win double. No complaints from me there. I stayed overnight somewhere. I don't even know where I stayed, but we had a lovely Chinese on the Saturday night. They went and played mini golf before the game on the Sunday. And I like you, Chaz. I think that Posh played Burnley in the FA Cup just before Christmas. And I don't know the score off the top of my head again, but I think it was possibly 7 or 8-0. They would have done a lot of learning from that. Burnley are a full-time team in the division above. So although you may think, well, you've gone there and lost quite heavily, actually the learning that can be taken from that sort of game about this is the standard, this is what you need to do, will be massive for the team as they go into a new season.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy that you even mentioned that there's teams in the league above that are full time. I mean, like, if Posh Women are going to be competing in that league next season, then they're definitely on the right path. I think that it's going to be tough. They're going to have to adjust, but it's incremental, isn't it? In football, you've got to stabilize yourself, and then I think it's very organic, because there's not sort of the big money in the women's game. It's organic, and experience really matters. So you get into the league, you try and stay up first season by hook or by crook. You just get enough points to keep you in that division. Then you take the learnings from that, and then the next season you slowly work yourself up the table organically, like the women have done in the division they're in now. And then eventually they'll be in this position in the league above, and then they move on to the championship, and it carries on going like that. And because of, as we, I mentioned, that the less funds in the women's game, and you don't see teams like Wrexham in the women's game that are going to go from 5th division to the WSL in as many years. You're going to see that sort of natural footballing progression, and that's going to be really exciting. And what I would say is, I hate bandwagon jumpers. Don't be a Posh fan who jumps on the women bandwagon in 2 years' time when they're doing well and looking like they might get into the 2nd division or something like that. Be on the wagon early. I think Ash is on the wagon, Lods is on the wagon, the whole of the podcast are on the wagon, and there are lots of people as well that every time I've been to see the women, that they are there, and season ticket holders and people that go to more women's games and men's games as well now. Lods is actually probably one of those, to be honest. But don't be a bandwagon jumper. Don't I get that there's sometimes people can't go to every game, but support the team. And you know what, Ash, you said earlier, which is really interesting, that there's people that said, regardless of what league they're in, I won't watch them and stuff. They are Peterborough United, whether you like it or not. They are a part of Peterborough United Football Club. Like, they are. So if you genuinely are a Posh fan, you support them, whether you like it or not. They are, as a Posh fan, they are your adopted, supported club. They just are. So unless you're a very poor Posh fan, you should want success for them. You should want to go see them as much as you possibly can, and you should, in big occasions, support them. And so when people go, oh no, I'm a Posh fan, but I don't really care for the women's team. You don't have to go every game, but you need to care for them and you need to want them to do well, because otherwise you're just not a very good supporter.
Yes, you're right, Chaz. Let's do Ed. That wasn't on the menu. We've not got a next level Barbell Club predictions league this week because Port Vale's been postponed. But what is going to be the score prediction for Posh Women on Sunday? I will go first, and I'm not going to give a score prediction because it's very difficult to predict, especially in the second half of the season. I've noticed that the games are a lot closer. They're a lot more exciting exciting in a different way, I should say, because we've not got teams that we're scoring 8 or 9 goals against, but they're 1 or 2-0 wins potentially. I'm going to go that Posh are going to win by at least 3 goals, but I do think that we will concede because Worcester have already scored 2 goals against us this season. And one of them, I think, if I remember correctly, it was a very good free kick that ended up right in the stanchion. But what I do think that we are going to see is we are going to see lots of good football on show. Hopefully, Up The Poshcast sponsored Kaylee Hines starts, because when Lods tells you that he loves a central midfielder, Kaylee Hines epitomizes that. And we love watching Kaylee Hines play football. She is a great footballer. And then also what we will see the team utilizing the pitch to its full size. Darius said that we've got the best pitch in League One at the moment. And with Posh not playing on it on Saturday, it's going to be in fresh, tip-top condition, hopefully. So lots of wing play, lots of enjoyable football, lots of sharp passing, triangles, movements, all of that sort of stuff. Get everybody off their seats. All 500 people or however many are there are going to be there. And as Lords mentioned, Posh Women are good at set pieces. Lauren Wilshaw, when she crosses that ball in, there's always somebody there at the back post to nod it in. So come down and watch Posh score from a set piece. What a miracle. So look, Black Lad Travels is giving me a cop out saying he wants to score. I'm going to go. I don't want to go 5 because Lods has gone 5-1. John's gone 4-0. So I feel like I need to do something different. I'm going to go 4-1. Does that still mean that Posh win by 3 goals? Yes, it does. So I've still true. Your turn, Charlie. Detailed predictions.
Yeah, I mate, I am all over a detailed prediction. I think it's going to go one of 2 ways. There's either going to be some early jitters, and I think either way results in a posh win. But I think there's either going to be those early jitters, which are not going to be good, or they're going to come out and absolutely murder poor Worcester. And honestly, I can see it going the second way. I think it's going to be an absolute masterclass from Jake Paul's side. I think I can see it being a cagey first 10 minutes, but I think when the first goal comes, they're all going to the floodgate's going to open. I'm going to go for 7-1 Posh. I think it's going to be high scoring. I really hope Kaylee Hines plays. She is unbelievable, like a proper midfield general. She does usually you need a double pivot to do what she does, but she just does it all on her own. It's ridiculous. She's like a Hoover, just on that sort of 35-yard line, just dictating the play. So yeah, I think she's gonna dominate, but I don't think she's gonna score the first goal. Jess Rousseau is the one for me. Last time I was at the women, they were playing. Who were they playing when I was in my referee's kit, Ashley? I can't remember.
Don't bring that back up. Let me go do some research. Waffle for 30 seconds. I'll find the picture.
Well, anyway, I came straight from. I didn't realize the women were playing because I didn't see it on social media. And then literally, I finished refereeing at the academy about an hour before kickoff and was like, at the Peterborough Academy, and I was like, oh, actually, if I just hightail it from here to the women's game, I'll be in the ground for kickoff, and I can go and watch the women play. The only slight issue with that was that I was in full refereeing kit, and because I wasn't planning to go anywhere after the game, my refereeing kit was all I had to offer. So I had to show up to the game as Ash is, I'm sure, gonna traipse the picture out now in a long coat with my refereeing kit around everywhere else, which was actually really good because when Ash chirps the lino in front of us, he was able to say to the linesman, he was able to say, if you need a break, mate, just come and sit next to us, and Chaz will tag in for a little bit. That was good. But that day, I think the women won. They won quite comfortably, and Jess Rousseau definitely scored, and I think she's going to score again. And she's my first goal scorer, so 7-1 Posh, and Jess Rousseau to score the first goal is my prediction.
Right, Chaz, I've got the date of the game, so I'm just going onto the Posh website. Fingers crossed, the results section is complete. 18th of January it was, which was Notts County at home. Notts County obviously have a drummer. They bring a trumpeter with her. If you're not familiar with Notts County supporters, please do head over to the Poshcast TikTok page to see that. And what I am going to do is I am going to treat everybody that's currently watching to the pictures of you, Chaz. I just need to save them quickly so that I can pull them up on the stream. But whilst we wait, I didn't choose a first goal scorer, did I? So I need to think about who my first goal scorer is going to be, and I think it's going to be Poppy Brown. That's what I'm going to go with. Poppy's going to score from long range. She does like a shot from distance. So that's who my first goal scorer is going to be. Ed reckons it's going to be Megan Lawler. And Carl's asked, what is the difference between the manager and the general manager? So the manager is taking pretty much all of the training sessions and is the coach, essentially, I would say. The general manager is sort of dealing with all of the back office stuff, I would say. So you're talking your sponsors, your ticket sales, your things like that, and then he's leaving. So that's Sam, and then you're taking Jake, and Jake is then doing the football stuff, essentially. Right, Chaz, are you ready?
No.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. So, but what I will do first is... No, I won't, because I deleted that one. So it's just going to go up there. There's Charlie, fresh off the bat of refereeing at the Peterborough United Academy. Socks pulled up. And just for good measure, there's another picture of Charlie dishing out his yellow card whilst wearing his duvet, and his socks pulled up as well. So, yeah,
it was cold. I was using the socks to conserve leg warmth. I'm not like you, Ash. I don't have the bloody tree trunk legs where I can just wear shorts in whatever weather. I was freezing. It was January. What do you mean long socks to ref?
Do you know what? That is a good point though, Chaz. Is that why do referees pull their socks up?
It's just
you don't have a reason. You literally don't have a reason. There's no reason for it.
There is no reason for it. But what I would say is it's necessary. Like, you have to do it under the current FA rules. That's the reason I pull my socks up. I don't know why. I guess it's to look like. I guess it looks nicer, doesn't it? If the players have got long socks, and also because teams aren't allowed.
Don't wear long socks these days.
Well, no, but teams. So teams aren't allowed to wear the same color socks as the referees. So teams aren't allowed to wear. So that's because then if you look through everyone, you'll see like socks down. If it was socks down, that could be confused between the ref or a Jack Grealish type who wears their socks very low. Whereas if you see pulled up to the knee height black socks, not to kick the ball there because that's where the referee is. And surprisingly, Ash, although people like to say that this is the case, referees do not want to be the centre of attention. And if we can avoid the ball being passed straight to us,
I'm not sure about that. Darren Drysdale? Yeah, Darren Drysdale loves to be the centre of attention. And there's one that's got a brother as well. I can't remember. Didn't he end up going and reffing in Norway at one point, or Finland? I can't remember his name.
What are you talking about? I have no idea. Are you talking about the Madleys?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So
yeah.
You do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I do know.
Pull a face at me, you dick.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ed, Chaz is a terrible referee. We had this discussion at Northampton last week. Charlie, would you like to? You didn't know rule number 1 of football, which absolutely is not rule number 1 of being a referee.
It's not, it's a
lie. But would you like to tell everybody what we established that you didn't know at Northampton?
Well, no. To be fair, I think I'd know it in a game situation, but when called upon to decide to dispute about whether you can be offside from a goal kick or not, I was confused for a moment, and I did give the wrong answer and say that you can't be offside. Wait, what did I say? Wait, hang on. You can't be offside. So I said you can be offside from a goal kick. I said you can be offside from a goal kick. So yeah.
Yeah, this is what I was trying not to say because I can't remember what naughty thing it was that Bobby Madley did. I also don't want to say it on live because I don't want private investigators knocking on my door. Pretty much like for saying something salacious. Should we talk about what's happened at Posh?
Sorry, I'm laughing at. Yeah, sorry, yeah, I'm just laughing.
Yeah, can you explain that to me because I feel like I've missed a bit there.
What, this?
Yeah.
I think I just have a distinct memory of in the County Cup final giving an offside from a goal kick and like people looking slightly perplexed. So that's what John's referring to there. I confided that in John. I don't think I'm not sure that was the case. It might have been an offside, but I remember ball coming and like banged from the goalkeeper, guile miles off, flag goes up, down. Hold it there till the referee tells you it's good. I don't know why I'm acting it out like you don't know how to give an offside. But,
I haven't given an offside in my life, Chaz.
But yeah,
I also never shoved the ball at my top either. So here we are. Role play with Chaz on a Friday night.
There were some people looking perplexed.
Right. What has happened at Posh this week? Let's get the Posh website up.
Harry Leonard's had surgery.
Yeah. And do you know what? I don't have an issue with that. I think that's the right decision.
I agree.
I know that they are not. They're not going to take my medical opinion. That's for sure. But I do think that Harry Leonard having this surgery is the right thing, just to get it done and out of the way. He can have an impact on the. Well, do we? Okay, reflip the question and actually ask a question. Do you think we're going to see Harry Leonard again this season, Charlie?
Yes. Well, actually, I think it depends on the situation. I think we won't rush him back. There's no need. I think it's going to be nice to be able to see Pemi, Bolu, David Kamara more in the spotlight. So I'm not massively stressed about it, but I think we will see him again before the end of the season. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play again. But I think it was the right decision. I actually do think it was dictated by the 2 draws. I think if we beat Exeter and we beat Cobblers, we'd be like a few points off the playoffs, and I don't think they would have given the green light on the surgery. I think they would have carried on injecting him and making him play through pain. But I think
hold it together, man. Come on.
It's the right. Sorry, a crazy voice crack there. I think it's the right decision for him, and we want him fully fit for the start of next season and to be able to have a full Luke Williams pre-season, don't we? So we don't want him to be set back and start late with the team, and even just things like when the new signings come in, we want Harry Leonard to be fit to show them the level and show them the standard. We don't want him to be on the treatment table. So no, I think it's a sensible decision. I think Harry Leonard has gained even more of my love. I love Harry Leonard, but he's gained even more by the fact that he was playing through some real pain and was willing to carry on playing through the pain and was only ended up having the surgery because the club decided, you know what, it's probably the best for you, mate. He's just an absolute striker. He's a proper. This might sound weird, but he's a proper northern striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just one of them hard northern lads that just gets stuck in, loves a little bit of a scrap, and is just a great finisher, and plays through the pain. And so he's great. I hope he gets to play again because I also think it'll be nice for him to play one last time with Jimmy J. Morgan, just before he goes back to Chelsea. They're really good mates now, and they probably will be mates after Jimmy J leaves. But it'd be nice for them to get one final chance to link up. But yeah, Harry Leonard goes. Realistically, it's not that big of an issue, is it? Because Garbutt comes back in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, and then we just push Jimmy J on one and play him as a striker, which is his natural position, and put Garbutt in the 10. So it's not that dramatic. But yeah, I think it's the right decision.
I am not against it. We also saw Harley Mills and Sam Hughes on the training ground. I would like to give everybody a little bit of info on Sam Hughes. He did tune in last week. The like was accidental, so he had us all on strings. He was never going to be playing at Northampton. He did in the sauna at the gym. And what do you think that? Do you know what? I think that was from those photos. There was like 42 photos, wasn't there, that went up? It felt like all of a sudden we've got like a massive squad again. When you think that there's a chance that by the time that Leyton Orient comes around, we might have Mendy fit again. We might have Mills ready to go. We might have Hughes potentially ready to make a sub appearance of some kind, maybe 10, 15 minutes if we need to help see a game out. And then, Chaz, you obviously mentioned Garbett as well. It feels like we've got a whole squad coming back, and Port Vale being postponed, although disappointing in terms of the GH display trial, is going to sort of help us out looking ahead to Orient and then Wimbledon away.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get some players back, and seeing Mendy in training was an interesting one. I still have a bit of faith in Mendy that we haven't seen the best of him because he's been so unfit every time he's played for us, and that he might actually be good. So John, with his sarcastic comments, I think that could be too early to make comments like that. It's going to be great to see the players back. I'm worried for Dave. I'm not going to lie. There are a few factors that. Well, first of all, the fact that we didn't see him in any training photos. He was in casual wear in that video that they posted on the club social media when all the other players were in training gear. And also in the background of our away day ratings footage, he's hobbling off the pitch and pointing at the back of his leg and moaning to one of the coaches and making some not great looking gestures about strains and stuff. So I'm a bit concerned that maybe he's picked up something. But yeah, other than that, I'm feeling good about the state of the squad and the fact that we're going to get players back.
But Chaz, we had a question from Daisy. What do we think will happen to Brad next season? That's not the person that I thought you were going to ask about, Daisy. But yeah. What do you think happens to Brad? It's really difficult, isn't it? Because Luke Williams is clearly willing to give people a chance, but is it kind of like he'll have seen too much of Pemi, too much of David Kamara, too much of Bolu, too much of Leonard, that's 4 strikers there straight up. Is there room for a 5th striker? I'm not sure. And then you sort of talk about, well, yeah, Lods has put it in. Is Brad better than Pemi and Kamara?
100%.
Yeah. So then
Brad's 2 years ahead of them both easily.
So do you think that obviously there was? I don't want to say anything salacious or anything like that. There was alleged attitude issues, wasn't there, with Fergie? Do you think that Luke Williams can be the man to rein those attitude issues in if there are any?
I'm going to be honest. I think Brad's just a character, and I think Luke Williams might. Obviously, he might not, but I think Luke Williams might really like Brad and think he does seem like the kind of guy who likes a cheeky chap. The fun teachers at school who there were certain teachers that just didn't get on with the sort of naughty students because they were just so straight laced. Fergie is one of them teachers, whereas there are other teachers that had these great sort of like almost friendship, mentorship relationships with the naughty kids. Obviously, I was one of the well behaved ones, but the naughty kids at school. I think Brad is just a naughty kid at school, and I think Fergie was too straight laced. But I think Williams, there's a real chance that Williams quite fancies Brad. I think he is quite a way ahead of Pemi and Kamara still, and definitely a long way ahead of Bolu. Like he is an EFL striker now. Brad, confidently. He was doing a decent job at Shrewsbury before he got injured. It's a shame that he got injured, but I think he's going to be given a fair chance in pre-season. I also think that Tara quite likes Brad, because somebody asked Tara about Brad, didn't he? And he was like, "Oh yeah, he was in my office. We were having a drink after a game a few weeks ago. And he said, I love Brad." I think there is definitely a way back for Brad. He's going to offer us that something different, and Williams loves players that have a unique selling point. And what Brad has is his unique selling point is he's a brilliant physical defender. Like I actually think watching Brad would improve Pemi and Dave because he is. You think about like Cardiff at home, Cardiff away on the first day of the season. Yeah. The absolutely torrid time he gave to their centre backs. He does offer that. I think he'll be a good character for the changing room. I don't think he's I just think Fergie fell out with too many people at the start of this season. I'm starting to wonder whether the people that Fergie fell out with were the problem, or whether Fergie was just not up for it this year and approached it with a weird mentality. But I think there's a real way back for Brad under Luke Williams. I really do, and I think I love Big Bad Brad. I'm kind of tempted. If he was playing, I'd definitely be in the Shrewsbury away end at Chesterfield tomorrow. I'm kind of tempted. I'm kind of tempted to go anyway, but I love Big Bad Brad, and I hope to see him play for the club again, because even just for that Wrexham moment, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't forget that. I was discussing that with somebody in the pool yesterday. Is that you don't really ever remember the 1-0s, do you? You always remember the last minute goals, and you think back to Dembele scoring in the Championship against Derby. Obviously, we then went to Derby away and Ricky scored and Brad scored that equaliser. Those are the big moments that you remember. So not that you become a legend as a result of that, but you become an icon, I would say.
I think the word is cult hero. The phrase is cult hero. Brad is a cult hero, and if he never played for us again, he'd be like a player that we reference in 10 years as the streets won't forget Peterborough United player.
You're right.
He's one that we will all remember. And fans that maybe haven't been as interested in the club, or will have been supporting us for a few years at that time, will be like, who? Bradley Honvian, I never heard of him, but we'll remember. The people that were here watching this countdown to kick off, we will keep his memory burning.
If you know, one of those types of people. That's
one
the
of
phrase,
them.
isn't it? Yeah.
He's a Peterborough Barclays man. Remember that trend?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah, lots of said maybe that's a question for Daisy. Daisy has promised me that she will come on the podcast dependent on how the summer goes for her significant other. So I'm going to hold her to that, if depending on what happens, and she can come and spill the beans and tell us all about what it's like to be at Peterborough United and be involved with Peterborough United. What else has happened this week in football? Just Championship playoffs.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I got sent this today. The voting figures. The vote was obviously all 72 clubs in the EFL, but there were 3 clubs that were absent for some reason. So 3 clubs just didn't bother to attend the EFL meeting, apparently, which is kind of aura, but also a bit weird.
But do you know who they were?
No, it's not been confirmed. But there were 67 clubs that voted in favour out of the rest, and only one club in the entire EFL voted against. Was that Dara McAntony, who didn't like the idea? Wait, did Dara like the idea?
No, Dara loved the idea.
Oh, Dara loved the idea. Well, one club voted against it. I think. Well, I'll just read out the wording of my tweet that I put out. I think it's greedy. Is what I think. I think it's self-serving, and I don't hate it as a concept, but they won't vote for 3 clubs to be promoted from the National League, will they? They won't vote for that. And what I would say is it's clubs that, just will not make it to the playoffs, voting for that chance. And I think I just hope that 8th place win the playoffs for the rest of Championship history. I will love it. It would be great if, there's teams that have been great the entire season, finishing 3rd or 4th, and then there's a team that has a pretty mid-season and scrapes it in 8th, and then they win the playoffs. It's going to be great. I think, listen, the playoff football is great. I do like the playoffs, and an extra playoff quarterfinal, a one-off game where it's all riding on that game, is going to be absolute carnage. And I can't pretend I'm not going to enjoy it when it happens, but I can't help but think that playoffs is one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it type things. I don't think anybody looked at the playoffs as one of the things that needed to happen. And yeah, I just think as well, it just gives a massive advantage to, and of course there should be some advantage to finishing 3rd or 4th, shouldn't there? But if you think that a one-off game could end up being 120 minutes plus penalties, that you then probably got a week turnaround to recover from that and play another 2 games home and away. I think that was my concern, is that they were going to match what the National League do, which is currently, I can't work out, 2nd and 3rd, 4th versus 7th, 5th versus 6th, played at the higher teams, and then that's one leg, and then they then play at the 2nd and 3rd place team one leg, and then it's then a final.
the fact that they've kept those semi-finals as 2-leg playoffs, kind of a no-brainer for me. Then you're not really losing anything. All you are doing is opening up the door to an 8th place team like something like Preston North End, one of those irrelevant sort of teams that finishes in and around absolute nothingness every year. It'll make it exciting, won't it? And I said when they brought it up, didn't I, that the only reason that Darryl would vote for it is because he sees that there's more chance that we finish 8th than finish top and go up automatically. I am confident that despite 67 clubs, you said, was it, voting for it in favour of it, if we finish 3rd place in League One and lose to the 8th place team in a final, Darrow's going to be livid, right? And he'll regret ever voting. That's my only concern is that, yes, it's great if you finish 8th or 7th, but if you finish 3rd or 4th and you lose to that 7th or 8th team, then I'd be pissed, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating. And as I said, I think there's a lot more things that could be discussed by the EFL. I think that's the thing that frustrates me is it feels like the EFL vote one change through per season, and yet they always skate around the most obvious issues, like, for example, FFP and salary cap and that sort of thing. You know, that was declined by the Football League when 18 League One chair people wrote to them and asked for there to be a salary cap and a luxury tax on big spend players. That wasn't put in place. It took the EFL about 9 million years to do the new TV deal, and I think the clubs were not happy with the deal that ended up getting done. But when it comes to, adding an extra game that they can sell to Sky for big money, they're all over that, So I just think, as Daisy said, I mean, she knows better than anyone at the moment that 3 up in the National League would be such a big thing. I've said this before, but the money in the National League is ridiculous. It basically is
the teams that come up as well are proving that it
wouldn't
be a charity case. Like, it's not like we want a 3rd up so that there's a chance that we go up. Was it Bromley that won the playoffs last year? The National League
and
playoffs?
they're now top of the National League.
Literally.
And Barnet are 10th, 3 points off the playoffs. You look at the season before. Yeah, this will be interesting to look at. You look at the season before. I think, was it who got promoted? Was it Bromley again? Bromley was the year before, but they came 11th the first year they were in the league.
Well,
the team that comes straight back up pretty much never goes straight back down, and that can't be said about the teams in literally any other league. Championship teams that come up from League One, at least one of them usually goes back down. League One, well, it's looking like a few of them may go back down. It's very rare that teams that get promoted from the National League end up going down the season after. And a lot of them, Wrexham, Stockport, Notts County, Bromley, Barnet now, end up challenging at the top end of...
Oldham went up last year, I think it was. They're in 14th. Like, that's a perfectly respectable. If you said to me, Posh get promoted from League One and we finish 14th in the Championship, I would fucking snap your hand off at that every day of the year.
And this is the thing as well, League Two. There are some teams that are never going to be in the bottom 2 of the league, but are just there, just fodder, aren't they? Like, you look at Newport are going to go down this season, but you look at, and this is no disrespect to them, the teams that I'm about to mention, but you look at the likes of, Barrow and Tranmere and Cheltenham.
Barrow alone, Chaz?
Just because, you used to live there and you've got a big Turkish friend in their goalkeeping department doesn't mean that they're not a League Two fodder club. There's teams that are never going to go down from League Two, but are also never going to go up from League Two, and are just taking up places from the clubs that actually will get promoted. Like, you think, for example, when York go up, they're going to go again. I think York, they'll be promoted within 2 years of them being in League Two, and then maybe again in the Championship. That is a big club with a lot of potential, like a big fan base. What's great about York is they have such a young fan base, like people my age and 3 years older. They've got that stand behind the goal with a great atmosphere, and they're future-proof now, York. And when they get promoted, they're going to go again. It's just, it will be good for the Football League, and people just need to see that. And if you're worried, if you're a chairman that's not going to vote in favour of, 3 up because you're scared that you're going to get relegated to the National League,
put some more money in.
Yeah, put some more money in, or get out of the game, or just admit that you're a National League sized club. Like, stop clogging the road and let these clubs of the future go by.
Well, look, Chaz, you're just totally wrong on Barrow. Daisy says the same as well. I should clarify that my mother has a timeshare in the Lake District, and it's around Christmas and New Year. So whenever we're up there, well, it's been a while since I've been. We would always go to Barrow, and this is like when they were like National League North, and probably even the thing lower. And it's just I would love to. Cambridge went there obviously this season, didn't they? And it's a terrible but great away day. And I would love for Posh to get them in like the FA Cup or something. That's my dream. And obviously, yeah, Ali, the old goalkeeping coach, has ended up there alongside their new manager. So
can we all stay at your timeshare if we get Barrow away in the FA Cup?
yeah, provided that it's the third round of the FA Cup, because outside of that, we haven't got it, Chaz, because it's a week a year. So
by the way.
We're very much limited.
Do not let any Carlisle fans see Daisy saying she loves Barrow, because that's gonna be some backlash. Yeah, Jesus, careful, Daisy. They are like deathly rivals, aren't they, Barrow and Carlisle?
Yeah, massively. I think they hate each other. But to be fair, I think that Carlisle do a pretty good job of making rivals of pretty much everyone that they play. I'm sure that they had some beef with Bradford last season, potentially.
Yeah, that was because of the playoffs. They beat Bradford in the playoffs like a few years ago. And then they stole their goalkeeper, and it all got really just arsey. And then when they played last season, it kicked off big time.
Yes, did Carlisle not score like really late on?
It was extra time. Yeah, it was extra time.
I remember.
It was a great, honestly, one of my favorite playoff games I've ever watched. It was quality. And Carlisle Stadium, when it's full, is one of my favorite in the EFL. It's stunning. Like
Carlisle. That's what I'm
going
to say.
The sun was basked over
it.
Chaz. No, Ash.
The away end,
Ash.
Chaz. The away end. The seated away end is literally like 4 miles behind the goal. You're practically watching it from like the car park. That's how far.
No, I'm going to send you this playoff game. The limbs in the terraces either end are ridiculous. Like some of the best I've seen. And the limbs in the end, especially the one that they don't usually have open, the other terrace, not the one with the roof, the open top one next to the away end. They scored the opening goal, and that just went off. Serious limbs. I have respect for Carlisle. I actually like their ground.
Oh no, I don't. The only bad experience the only experience I've had at Carlisle is that Tuesday night where Ronnie scored, and then we conceded in like the 89th minute, and it was just miserable. Like, what a terrible Tuesday night that was. But are we there? Are we there, Chaz? Are we done? Have we got anything else that we want to talk about? Well, we should mention. I tell you what, we should mention. We should mention Rio Adebisi, shouldn't we? Because he popped up on everybody's Instagram stories. We obviously don't know what's happened there, but what we can tell is that his knee was in a bandage and it was also in a brace. So I am going to suggest, again, I am not a medical expert, despite claiming to be on multiple occasions on this podcast and knowing what's best for the footballers, that he's probably had another surgery. That's what I can make out from that. And I'm at a point where I felt bad for the guy anyway, because he's got a big move to Posh. He played 55 games for Crewe the season before, and we've just not seen it, have we? And it's kind of like we've said before, and Luke Williams has said it as well, that he has to be incredibly mentally strong to go through this and go through this again and again, and setback after setback. So I think that despite never seeing Adebisi play football, I think that every Posh fan should give him the absolute most respect, because, to keep going and keep trying to come back. Obviously, we saw him on the pitch at Lincoln, and I'd assume that he's gone backwards from there. Unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh, I feel so bad for him. It's getting to the point now where, at what point does he just sack it off? And I genuinely am worried for his life. He wants to be able to walk, doesn't he? When he's older, like if he's still having to have surgeries, like he could really hurt himself. I feel so bad for Rio, man. It is gutting, absolutely devastating. The guy's played one football game since the start of last season. I think the best thing to do, you know what, actually, I'm going to call someone out. Did Adebisi play today guy on Twitter fuck off? He's pissing me off. It's such a stupid account. Like, if you're gonna make it about, so if you're gonna make an account like that, make it about someone that isn't playing because they're bad. Like the obvious one that we're all thinking about. Don't make it about a guy that got injured, like, and has really been struggling, and the club have been very open that he's had real mental struggles, and then you're making an account with him in a Where's Wally thing. It's such a joke. Like, it's so like, I am not, I'm very much a defender of funny banter Twitter accounts, but it's not even funny. Like, it's just poor taste. I don't like it. Obviously, Adebisi didn't play football for Peterborough United today because he's been injured for the last 20 months. Grow up.
Well, I was going to say, should we end it on a positive? But I don't think I'm going to persuade you on that one, Chaz. Have you got anything positive to say?
Yeah, I do. Let's loop back around to the start of the episode and what the main topic of today was, which is that it is Peterborough United Women weekend this weekend, International Women's Day. Get yourself to London Road, get your tickets. I'll be there. Ash will be there. Come up and talk to us. Lods will be there. Come say up the podcast to us, chat to us. Tell me if you think I'm a dickhead. Tell me if you agree that Where's Wally Adebisi account is a knob. Just tell me anything you want. Let's have a chat and let's make it a really special day. The fan zone's open beforehand, so there's literally no excuse. You can get yourself into the club shop. I think it's going to be a great occasion. I'm hoping. Have we checked the weather actually for Sunday? What's it looking like?
We have not, but I tell you what, whilst we're talking of the weather, how lovely has it been this week? And then all of a sudden, today has been absolutely freezing. What is going on?
Yeah, it's been beautiful this week. Sunday is missed 12 degrees, which doesn't sound too bad. But yeah, it's been lovely in Sheffield as well. Like, Thursday was genuinely like an idyllic day. I had my lecture from 10 to 11, then from 12 till 1. Then 1 till 2, we went to the park and we had a massive game of one bounce, me and the lads from the course. And then we went straight from the park to a pub garden, and then had a beer. And then we went from the beer in the pub garden to our next lecture, and then finished the day. And it was all in the sun, all with in just t-shirts and shorts. It was brilliant. And that was just a great day. And that's what I'll end it on. A great day on Thursday. And let's hope it's a great day for the Posh Women on Sunday.
Fingers crossed, Chaz. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'll see you Sunday. I have got a confession to make before I disappear. I'm going to watch MK Dons tomorrow because I had to have a backup.
But you're in the away end, aren't you?
Yes, of course. I should, of course, confirm that I will be supporting Harrogate. So if anybody's got if there's any Harrogate fans that are watching that want to tell me all about your star players, please do. And I'll probably boo Nathaniel Mendez-Lang just because I miss him at Posh.
Hey Ash, if you're there, see if you can get Harrogate to buy Odo back. Just see if we can start planting some seeds.
Just do some wheeler dealer stuff.
Yeah.
Can I sell a fish to a fisherman? Who knows? Let's see what happens. Let's leave it there, Charles. Let's go and enjoy the rest of the evening. There's FA Cup football, Wolves versus Liverpool, is it?
Yeah, I think it's still 0-0.
I think that Cheltenham versus Barrow is on a Barrow. I do have goal notifications off of Barrow. They are winning 2-1 currently. So
Preston versus Oxford in the Championship as well.
What's John talking about? Ash works on Saturdays. Oh, because look, I am a seller for Peter.
Yeah, you're going to be wheeling and dealing. Oh God, I said his name. End the live now.
Right. Up the Poshcast.
Up the Poshcast.